Have your Bible open to that little third epistle of John, the third epistle of John. A one chapter, one page epistle. Now keep your Bible open and follow word for word. In doing so, you'll get far more out of it. Now, this epistle can be divided into three personalities. There is three persons, Gaius, Diotrephes, and Demetrius. Now, they might be divided in this fashion: the gentle Gaius, the domineering Diotrephes, and the delightful Demetrius. Now, notice first of all the gentle Gaius in the first 8 verses. Notice in verse 1, the elder unto the well-beloved Gaius, or literally the elder to Gaius the beloved. So, first of all, he says Gaius, but we do not know just who this Gaius is. Now, there's other men named Gaius in the New Testament. There was Gaius of Macedonia in Acts 19:29. There was Gaius of Derbe in Acts 20 and verse 4. And there was Gaius of Corinth in 1 Corinthians 1:14. But the Gaius here could not be identified with either one of those, and I do not think that he should be, because whoever this Gaius is had to be in some close proximity to Jerusalem, as we will see as we progress through the little epistle, and also as we saw in 2 John, he's writing to the same church. Now, in 2 John, he wrote to the church, but Diotrephes would not accept it, and so John had to write another epistle and do it through a faithful member by the name of Gaius in that assembly. So the elder to Gaius, the highly valued one, the well-beloved, or literally beloved, the word well is added, and it simply means a highly valued one because it's a form of that word, agape. Now, this word beloved is used 4 different times of this man Gaius in this short epistle. We find it first of all in verse 1, as we've just read. It's also in verse 2 when John says, "Beloved, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in health." Then it's again in verse 5, "Beloved, thou doest faithfully whatsoever thou doest." And then again it's in verse 11 when he says, "Beloved, follow not that which is evil, but that which is good." So evidently this man Gaius was a highly valued one, not only by John, but by many others, as we will see in this brief epistle. Now notice he says, the elder to Gaius, the highly valued one, whom I love in the truth, whom I highly value. Now the word love here again is the word agape. It says, whom I highly value in the realm or sphere of truth. Now, notice we saw in 2 John that John often uses the words truth and spirit interchangeably, as we see in 1 John chapter 5 and verse 6. In the latter part of the verse here, he is saying to us in 1 John chapter 5 verse 6, "And it is the Spirit that beareth witness, because the Spirit is truth." And throughout the Gospel of John, as well as his epistles, he uses those words somewhat interchangeably, truth and spirit, because the Spirit is a spirit of truth. Now he says, I highly value in the truth that is in the Spirit myself. Then verse 2, "Beloved, I wish, I pray." My prayer and desire for you is, above all things, or concerning all things, that thou mayest prosper. That thou is simply the word thee, not T-H-E, but T-H-E-E, thee, you, speaking of Gaius himself. Mayest prosper is one word, and it's a present infinitive, which means to prosper. I pray above all things for you to prosper and to be in health. Be in health is one word. It's also a present infinitive. And to be in health, even as thy soul prospereth, or has a well way. So I pray for you to have a well way, and to be well physically as you are spiritually, as your soul has a well way. Now, today I think we would have to say concerning most of us, we could pray that we could be in as good spiritual condition as we are physically. But here was a man who obviously had physical problems, but he was very well off spiritually. And so he says, I'm praying that you could be as well off physically as you are spiritually, as your soul is prospering and having a well way. Verse 3 says, For I rejoiced greatly when the brethren came and testified of the truth that is in thee. Now, notice what he says. I rejoiced greatly, or I was exceedingly glad. So John was saying, I was exceedingly glad when this report came to me. When the brethren came, here you have a present participle. That is, the brethren having come, coming from time to time. They came over and over again. So again, there's an indication of a close proximity to the city of Jerusalem, where John was an elder in the church there. So he says, I was exceedingly glad, the brethren coming from time to time and testifying